but it's not impossible. Would that be fair? What's enough?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. So yes, thank you for sharing that. Yes, habit creation is a process. Now, when you look at habits, you might think, oh, yes, it is difficult. It's going to be tough. But if you look at it as a process, then it doesn't become as difficult. Let me share this with you, right? What's the process you can start? Now, all habits are self-directed. So this is a way to start a habit and sustain it. AMAR, right? AMAR. First is self-awareness. You need to have a self-awareness of the importance of starting any habit for that matter. Yeah. And then once you're very clear about that, it's about self-motivation, right? And then it's self-action. And then it's self-recognition. Okay, let me go a bit deeper dive to help you understand this. Yep. For example, okay, quick question. How many of us here track your daily expenses? How many of us here? I know one gentleman who does, right? He shared it with us earlier, right? Thank you very much again for that. But how many of us here track our daily expenses? If you do, you can just type in a yes. If you do, or you can come up, yes. All right, I see a few people. I used to, but not anymore. Okay, that's great. That's because you become an expert, right? Okay, I see a lot of people here that says you are tracking your daily expenses. And this is a very important habit to start, right? Let me share with you, right? Let me share with you why. I started this back in the 90s, right? Back in the 90s when I was tracking my daily expenses. The reason why was this. If you ask me at that point of time, what were my expenses were, I will tell you from the top of my head. Yes, I know how much I pay for my mortgage, my loans, or my car loans, or my children's education expenses. I know all of that. But if you ask me how much I spend on a daily basis, I had no idea. And what I spend on a daily basis, right? I could go to an ATM machine. I could draw out from a bank $50, for example, right? By the end of the day, when I look at my wallet, the $50 would have disappeared, and I'll go like, hey, where did that money go? I had no idea. So yes, for my bigger items, I knew how much I was spending. But my smaller items, I had no idea at all. So what I started to do was this. Back those days, in the 80s, 90s, sorry. I had this 555 booklet. I'm not too sure whether you have this in Cambodia, right? I had a 555 booklet, right? And I put this in my pocket. Now, I knew why I wanted to track. Remember the first part of the starting a habit is self-awareness. Self-awareness is because now I knew I had no idea where my money was, right? So I said I needed to do something about it. So I looked at having this 555 booklet to track my daily expenses. So I wrote down everything, whether my coffee, my lunch, my petrol, whatever it is on a daily basis, I started writing it down. But 1 month is not enough. You got to do it for at least 3 months. Why? Because there is a pattern. There's a pattern. Different months, there will be different, but you have to see a pattern, right? So when I started looking at that, I started becoming more aware about where I was spending my money and what was I spending it on. And I started asking myself questions. Do I really need to spend money on these things? Can I find different ways? And what I started to do was I started to cut down my expenses. And that is my self-motivation that came in. Remember, I said the second step is self-motivation, right? So once you are aware about why you want to start, then you had to put an action plan in place. And once you start taking the action, you feel motivated about it. And you've got to keep motivated. You've got to be consistent in that sense. And self-action is about being consistent. You can't do it for 1 month. You've got to do it for a few months, 3 months or so, right? And recognition is this. The last one is recognition. When you do well, reward yourself. I'm not suggesting you take all the money and go and throw for a party or buy something. But yeah, if you have to reward yourself, congratulate yourself. It can be a pat on the back. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Today, I don't use a 555 booklet. What I do is I use this app, right? A Money Lover app. It's called Money Lover, right? So regardless of whatever app you use, ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing that you can do today, right now, is download an app. All these apps are free apps. Download any free app out there, and starting today, November the 5th, 2021, I'd like you to start tracking your daily expenses. Do it for the next 30 days. Repeat it for 60 days, 90 days, until January. Do that. Right? Once you start to be able to do that, you'll be on top of your expenses. You'll be able to save more money, right? And you'll be able to put into investments like you want to. See, the most important thing is many of us are not aware about how we spend our money, right? On a monthly basis, right? It's easy. You may have an Excel spreadsheet to be able to track. If you don't have that, start creating an Excel spreadsheet or even an app, right, to track your monthly budgets. But go to the minute, start looking at your daily expenses. Right? So somebody has put here, there's a Cambodian app. I do not know how to pronounce it. So Hinda Bun, thank you very much for sharing with everyone here. We have also in Cambodia, we have app called Louis, right?
Called Louis, yes.
Yes. All right. Online goods and everything, live every day we want. That's true, right? That's why we talked about online spending much earlier, the scams and all of that. Be aware about how much you're spending online. If you have to ring fence yourself and protect yourself from not spending on online, do so. If you have to if you do not want to have credit cards, cut your credit card, throw it away. Use debit cards, right? And ring fence your credit cards or your debit cards. And make sure you know what you're spending on, right? So start tracking your daily expenses, because when you start tracking your daily expenses, you'll be able to put more into your savings. Once you put more into your savings, you'll be able to put more into your investments, and you'll be able to accumulate your money to be able to have a peace of mind, right? But it starts from your daily habits. So again, I will say, right, beware of your little expenses, because it's the small leaks that will sink a great ship, just like what Benjamin Franklin had said. So this is some of the habits you can start off with. And one thing I will recommend is starting off by tracking your daily expenses, tracking your monthly expenses, and having that framework to manage your expenses, right? So yes, use the 3R approach, right, to be able to review your financial health status. I can send you the link again, right? Reframe your mindsets or reframe the way you manage your finances from today onwards. We heard it also from one of your colleagues. It's simple, right? It's straightforward. And start resetting your habit. If there's one habit you start off today, is tracking your daily expenses. Right. Okay, excellent. I hear someone says it. I didn't track daily expenses. That's fine, but I do limit monthly expenses. Fantastic. As long as you are on top of it, that's the most important thing, right? You are on top of it. You are tracking. You are keeping an eye on what you spend and how you're spending it. That's the most important part, and that's an important habit. Yep. So of course, when we go into a bit more deeper into different type of habits about investments and all that, we can have further discussions. And it's already coming to 11:50. All right. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can look me up at Go Ashokh Menon on YouTube. I've got I'll put the link in later on the chat. But there is a talk not only a talk, but a video I put up about how to manage your money, right? How to grow money with financial habits. So I put up a video on YouTube, so you can go and take a look at that also, or you can look me up at LinkedIn, right? All right, I'm happy to take any questions that you have, right? I'm happy. We got a few more minutes. I would love to take any questions that you may have. Let me just put the link here. Okay, that's the YouTube link for everyone. Okay. All right. Yes. Somebody was asking me a question. Can I have a question? Yes. You may ask me a question, sir.
Hello, Mr. Good morning, Mr. Gu and everyone here.
Okay.
Actually, thank you for your lecture.
Okay.
Or I said your
sharing
of sharing of this wonderful habit. Actually, I do have habit before.
Okay.
And there are something that's struggling me because I do have my framework. I do have income, saving, and keeping for invoice.